Welcome back to JUCO Jam, Season 4, Episode 11. I can't believe it, Brandon. Episode 11, February.
11.
It's crazy.
11.
We're post-Valentine's Day, which means we have only love left for JUCO hoops at this point of the year. Brandon, if we shall, let's transition to the rewind. We're going to start with some games on Saturday, some good games. Eastern Florida beats Florida Southwestern 81-67. A couple of really good players I don't think get maybe enough national attention for Florida Southwestern. Mason Blazer with 19 and Sean Register 29-6. Register having an absolute monster season for the Titans.
He's going crazy right now. Eastern Florida had some hiccups in January, and then since like about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through January, they're playing better than maybe anybody in the country. And Sean Register has a lot to do with that. That dude's like putting up 30 every night.
I'm so excited for that state tournament.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's a rock fight.
Yeah, I've already blocked my calendar. We're going to stay in the state of Florida. Tallahassee gets a big win, 73-69. They have officially swept Northwest Florida on the season. Northwest Florida only hit 4 out of 11 threes. Justin Burns, a big game for him, 15-6. Orion Wilson was 16-8 for the Eagles, and Shane Cherry, their All-American candidate, had 11. You know, the panhandle. What are you going to say? We've said a lot. We'll say more.
I mean, it's a mini Jayhawk conference, but like just the top half of the Jayhawk conference, just all playing each other and clawing each other's eyes out every dang night. It's something, man. The unfortunate thing is that somebody is going to get left out in the cold on this thing, but I mean that's just the way it goes.
All right, I'm going to go to the tape here, Brandon.
Mm.
First place, we have Gulf Coast at 5-3.
Okay.
Northwest, Tally, and Chipola are all 5-4, a half game out.
Wow.
One of those teams will not go to the state tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, is what it is.
Thoughts on that? We have thoughts on that. We're not going to necessarily share them right now because we are a timed show. But if anybody wants to know them, you can email Nick Nelson.
Maybe a mailbag question will come up one day.
Maybe.
All right. And then finally, a great game in the Jayhawk Conference. Butler comes from behind late and beats Seward 94-93. Antonio Williams Jr. was kind of the star, I thought, of the game for Seward. He had 24 points, hit 5 out of 6 threes. Unfortunately, he got hurt late in the game. After he got hurt, Butler went on a run to close it out. Balanced Grizzly attack. 5 Grizzlies in double figures. Tristan Hankins came off the bench with 21 points. He had 5 out of 8 threes. I hope Antonio Williams, I hope the injury was not serious. I hope it was more of a tweak, possibly a torque. But he's one of the best players in junior college basketball. I hope he's back soon. But a huge win for Butler. They stay in first place, 14-5 in the Jayhawk.
Yeah, Coach Nitschke's done an incredible job there this year with Butler. They can score in bunches. I mean, they can really run it up. But shout out to Seward. They have really kind of revived that program down there. And I think they're on the right track to continue to grow, whether it's finishing out this year or just taking that momentum into next season. Seward's absolutely back on everybody's radar.
We're going to transition to the rundown. We have a great week of basketball ahead. And just like almost like a disclosure, we're going to talk about some regions here that aren't Florida, Kansas, and Texas as well. So one of the really cool games throughout the Midwest, Wednesday night, Mineral Area at Indian Hills. Mineral Area has played just a gauntlet of a schedule. They've seemingly played anybody they possibly could anywhere. Nazir Allen, one of the better players in the country. Then Indian Hills, they keep getting better. We had Coach Dewey on a couple weeks ago. They just keep winning. The Warriors, powered by Russ W. Oker, just on a
voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just on a real heater right now. I mean, isn't that a great Wednesday night game?
Yeah. I mean, look, whatever you're doing on Wednesday, I promise you it's not as good as Mineral Area at Indian Hills. So just do yourself a favor, go Warriors TV, and settle in.
That'll be a good one. We got at least 2 more good ones. Chipola at Gulf Coast. We talked about that earlier. Gulf Coast half game lead over Chipola. Coach Ballou coached under Coach Tyndall. This is like a feels it's kind of like a Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker sort of thing. I don't know who's who. I might be too much. I don't know.
Isn't
Um,
Anakin Darth Vader?
maybe too much.
I think
Um,
those are the same person eventually, but
but
go.
are they the same person? Because they're both playing the 1-3-1 zone.
Oh,
See, there was depth there. There was depth of how I did that.
this better make the final cut for social media posting. I'm just saying.
We're gonna just skip right over Panhandle. It's always a great night in Panhandle. Wednesdays and Saturdays, mark it down. But you know what might be the game of the week, Brandon, and maybe the most important game of the week is Barton at Butler.
Mhm.
Barton, little mid-year slumpage. They've won six in a row. They're right back in this thing. And if there's probably anybody cheering for Barton, it's probably the NJCAA selection committee. They would like nothing better than Barton and Butler to be there at the end and maybe be in that district championship game. I think a lot of the people involved would like to see two Kansas teams at the national tournament, and a lot of the coaches in Kansas will tell you they think this is the best the conference has ever been.
I'm bringing gun range earmuffs if both those teams make it because we love the bands. We love the bands.
All the
But
bands.
the bands love to be right in our face as we are doing our halftime show from the national tournament. So
As long as the Sterling Black Bears are in attendance, that's
that's
that's all
really
we
all that
want.
matters, if we're being
It's
honest.
really all that's what we're there for.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Thursday night, South Plains, New Mexico, two teams that are also playing their best basketball of the season right now. Both teams pick up a win on Monday night. South Plains, they are only a half game out of first place now, Brandon. They are 9-3 behind Howard, who only has two losses. New Mexico, 8-3. I mean, this
Yeah.
is this is going to be a slugfest right down to the
It's
end in the
coming down to the
whackjack.
wire. Where are we at with Midland in that list?
Midland is 8-4, so they are two games behind Howard in the loss. So if the conference tournament started today, it's not. Calm down, people. Midland would be number 4 in what would be a really interesting matchup. The way that the North plays the West, it's like the North 1 plays the Whack-Jack 4. You'd have Midland McLennan in an
Mm,
opening round matchup in Region 5.
that's some heavy hitter basketball right there.
Get you
Uh,
some crispers,
get
settle
you
in. It's going to be a low scoring slugfest.
some.
All right, transitioning Saturday. It's round 2 of Harkin Monroe. We
Ew.
got we got Daytona at Florida Southwest. And then another one that we don't talk about the region very much, Columbia State and Walter State. Columbia State with Coach Winston Neal, scrappy, hard-nosed defense. They really struggled to score the ball early in the year. Recently, they've been scoring up in the 90s. If Columbia State gets a little bit of offense to go with with their scrappy defense, they're a good team. Only 4 losses on the season. One of those was to Walters. Walters beat them at home by about 30, or in early January. Anything that intrigues you there about that trifecta of awesomeness right there, Brandon?
I'm always a big fan of that Harcum Monroe game. It's one of the under the radar, big rivalries in junior college basketball. Not, it's just a region kind of area, part of the country that doesn't get as much love as others. So, those are kind of the premier programs in that area, and it's great to see them play. And, if we're going to see one of them at Hutch, Monroe's playing really, really well right now.
They
So
haven't
that,
lost in like 3 months.
yeah, yeah, no, I've been made aware on social media of that as well.
Shout out to Nazir Kirksey.
Heyo.
We hear you.
We hear you. We hear you. We hear you. So yeah, big shout out to Monroe playing great basketball. So gonna watch that one on Saturday. And look, I love me some Columbia State, Winston Neal basketball, and Walter State. So gonna tune into that one as well. It's just great, great hoop. And I don't think this is gonna be a 30-point game this time around. I think Winston will have them ready to rock.
And then the final two games, Gulf Coast at Tallahassee, Butler at Cali. Any closing thoughts on the rundown, Brandon?
Gulf Coast, Tallahassee, it's just every single one of those panhandle games right now with everybody bunched in right there is just it's just awesome. And you can just feel it when you're watching the game. Like, I mean, everybody knows where they are in the standings right now. I'm sure they talk about it all week with the guys, or they say, don't think about it, which automatically makes everybody think about it. But
Whatever you do, do not think about it.
don't think about the rankings where we are, that we're a half game out of whatever, the rest of your life hinges on this moment. But yeah, so, gonna be watching that one as well. Gonna have the various TVs and computer screens popped up all over the place.
I'm going to tell this quick story for the viewers, but really for my dad.
Hmm.
Um, it's the planting of the seed, right? So I was at a game years ago. Last second, there's like 1 second left. The team has the ball. They need to go the length of the court. There's no more timeouts left. So it's one of the like the Christian Laettner play, right? You throw it the length of the court. You hope your big guy comes up, makes a cool move, spins, and shoots it, right? That's what everybody expects.
Yeah.
They got the scoreboard right in the middle of the court. You don't think there's any way the guy could possibly hit the scoreboard on the outlet pass. But what does the coach say to the kid taking the ball out of bounds? Hey, whatever you do, don't hit the scoreboard. All of a sudden, this kid throws a laser directly at the scoreboard, and it looks like the scene from The Natural, where there's just explosions and lights everywhere. So yeah, coaches, be careful what you tell your kids, right?
Needless to say, no Christian Laettner moment there.
No Christian Laettner moment, but there was a janitorial service that was probably very upset with that seed that was planted. So that's the rundown. Stay with us. When we return, we're going to get into the spotlight with national championship winning coach Jeremy Coombs from Barton. Stay with us. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We are so excited to be joined by one of our great friends of the program, Coach Jeremy Coombs at Barton. The Cougars are hot, 6 conference wins in a row. Coach Coombs, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's exciting to be back on here. We've got a big game on Wednesday, so hopefully there's no JUCO Jam jinx going
The
on.
jinx was early. That was like a
Okay.
season 1, season 2 thing. We've
Totally
been
didn't
hot
happen any
this
other
year.
time.
Yeah, so I was a little worried about that, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, well, we appreciating you. I think the curse was reversed a couple years ago when people were dodging us. It got so bad that people were dodging us because of what came after it. I can't remember. There was a moment where the curse was officially jinxed and we haven't looked back. So now I think it's almost it's like a good vibe. Like you'll probably hit a couple extra free throws during the game. Maybe a call goes your way. And there's just a little JUCO Jam aura in the air.
Yeah, good.
All right, first question for you. For people who may not be intimately familiar with Kansas junior college basketball, you have like some scheduling nuances that probably nobody else in the country has to deal with. So of your 30 regular season games, you have a whopping 24 conference games. So you only have 6 non-conference games to get on the schedule. And I think one of the things that makes your program stand out more so than any other is the level of challenge that you took on in those 6 games. So I wrote them down real quickly. Arizona Western and Eastern Arizona. You play those games at Eastern Arizona. You play at Mineral Area, who's a really well-coached team. Nazir Allen, one of the best players in the country. Then State Fair, Enid, who beat Howard, and then Tonkawa, who was receiving votes earlier in the year. So just talk to me a little bit about your theory behind going out and scheduling those really 6 tough non-conference games.
Yeah, we know that our conference is going to be a grind. We know it's going to be physical. We know that every night, especially on the road in the Jayhawk, is really tough. And some teams may talk, or people may talk about certain teams, and I mean, you can go to even where my old assistant is currently at Seward. The Greenhouse is a really tough place to play. Butler's a really tough place to play. Cloud. I don't know of one spot that in the Jayhawk that it's like, yeah, well, we can go over there and get one because it's an easy place to play. So, we have to be ready for that grind. And, my theory on the whole deal is I feel like those games are going to prepare us for conference play, but also prepare us for the national tournament if we have a chance to go there. And then I hope we win a little bit of, points for, strength of schedule when it comes to at-large bids and things like that.
I mean, the at-large, those final couple of spots every year are so hard to get. And I do think because of the non-conference schedule that you play, anything that kind of looks like a jump ball probably should go your way, just due to the level of games that you took on, especially when, nobody in their right mind would have played Eastern Arizona last year, as good of a season as they had. And they really needed a program like yours to go there and play them. They're out looking for legitimacy to try to take on good people. So that was a game that, helps them out. But that's a hard game. That's a true road game. They have a good environment out there. Mineral Area, true road game. Arizona Western as a neutral court game. I mean, those are really, really challenging games. So you got off to a great start, 5-1. The Jayhawk is a grinder. You've won 6 in a row, which really hard to do in your conference. What do you think has been kind of the difference over these past 6 games?
Really just trying to figure ourselves out a little bit more. I think we've gone with a little different rotation. We've got a kid that became eligible at semester that's, really going to help us as we move forward. And again, just trying to figure ourselves out. But, practices have been so competitive. Practices have been, I mean, you talk about diving on the floor for loose balls, taking charges. I mean, all those little things that coaches want, and the guys have really bought into that. And so you're starting to see that hard work and practice pay off in the games.
Every coach in the country thinks that their conference is the best. The most difficult road games, all of that. That's one thing I've come to know is true. But you're a straight shooter with us. You've been around for a long time. You've won a national title at Barton. You've seen the other schools in Kansas win national titles, go to the Final Fours, those types of things. Help give the viewership like some real perspective. How good is the Jayhawk? Is it just we have 10 of the best 40 programs in the country right now, but maybe we don't have a top 5 team? Like, give us some overall perspective on what you think the Jayhawk conference is this year.
Yeah, so I think, in junior college basketball, just in general, I think is so much better over the last few years with the transfer portal and with kids getting extra years at the 4-year level. We're getting high school and prep kids that maybe we wouldn't have gotten, 3 or 4 years ago. So I think there's just a lot more kids out there. And so I think everybody's looking for an opportunity, looking for a place. And so I think the depth of junior college basketball, the strength of it is a lot better. And I think our coaches in this conference have taken advantage of that as well. So top to bottom, I mean, you look at a team right now, Colby or Pratt are sitting at the bottom of our conference, but I can tell you this, I could see one of those teams pulling off, a Region 6 championship. That's just how good they are. So we've got great coaches, great players. And like you said, it's just, it's a grind every single night. And so keeping guys healthy, there's just so many things that go into play, when it comes to our conference. But, I just don't know if anybody in the country plays that many tough games throughout the year. You don't even have a night where you can just say, hey, this is going to be an easy night. We're going to be up 20 and we can play our bench, or we can, take a break. This is one of those deals where it's like every game you have to be on point, you have to be locked in, and if not, you're going to get beat.
At this point in the season where you've played the amount of conference games that you've had, does everybody know the scouting report on everybody at this point? Or I mean, I'm sure you're probably making some subtle tweaks and, there's some nuances and wrinkles that you're putting in, but does scouting get easier as the season goes on, or does it get harder?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, you haven't seen those teams in quite some time,
I
just
guess that's true with
yeah,
yeah,
we're on our way
your
back
first game of the
through.
year is going to look a lot different than your 13th conference
Yeah.
game of the year, right?
Yeah, I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think KU had played somebody in the conference, one night, and then I think it was like 3 games later they played them again. We don't do that, so we've got to go all the way through the conference, and usually by the time it rolls back around, somebody's changed something, or they're doing something different, maybe something they figured out, or something that they've added. And so again, it's like starting over. I just did the scout on Butler, and I just basically go in and erase it and start all over, from the last time. I've had people say, well, what'd you do last time against them? It's like, well, we did this, but we're probably going to have to make some adjustments and do different things. And so again, it's just every night it's something different, it seems like, in our conference.
When you originally got this group together, like in the preseason, doing the jamboree type of thing, and you think about where the team is at today, what is the biggest surprise for you, whether it's, a player or, the composition of the guys that are actually on the court? What surprised you the most about this group from where it started to where it is today?
I think that I thought this team was going to be really good. And I still believe that. I think we're scratching the surface of how good we can be. We're playing good basketball right now, but we still have some things that we need to tweak and fix. Those jamborees early, I look at a lot of players. I'm not worried about the wins at all. I know a lot of people are, and, kids are fired up about getting wins in the jamborees, but I think I went to 2 of Brandon's events. I don't think he ever gave anybody a trophy or anything like that. So
You're not hanging banners for an
no,
undefeated
we're
jamboree
not putting
season?
banners up in the locker rooms or wherever. So at that point, we're really just trying to tweak things and try to see what works for us, what works for that particular team. Again, I mean, and this is talked about a lot with junior college basketball. Every year you got a different group, and maybe they do something different. I mean, my national championship team was totally different than even last year's team that went to the national tournament. I had two guys that were, really ball dominant. This year, I think we're a group that's really starting to share the basketball a lot. We have a lot of talent, and we've got some talent on the bench, and I think that's the other side of things that, these Division I coaches don't realize. We've got, our 8th, 9th, 10th guy on the bench is really good. It's just unfortunately there's not enough minutes out there. So nothing's really surprised me with them. I think that, just the fact that we've come around and started playing really good right now. I hope we can continue that, but yet still get better.
All right, Coach, you seem pretty loose. I've asked you a lot of easy questions, try to get you going a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to ease you in to Brandon because he's not going to be as nice, not going to be as kind. He has a lot more serious things that he wants to talk with you about.
Okay.
All right, Coach. So this is a bit of an imagination exercise, right? We gotta focus in, maybe close our eyes a little bit, think about it. But you get this big win, right? Wherever it is, whether it's a conference championship, it's a hutch, whatever. You say, you know what, dang it, these guys have earned this. We're going to Chili's for dinner, boys. What are you having at Chili's?
Well, it's funny you say that's a tough question for me, but if you know me, I am like, it doesn't matter where I go, I'm gonna get a wrap. I mean, I don't know what that is at Chili's right now. I mean, I'd have to go and look at the menu, but it's like I'm going straight to the wrap section. So, and my boss, he's always giving me a hard time. Doesn't matter where we go. If we're going to a couple different restaurants here in town, it's the wrap. That's what I'm gonna get. It's gonna be a grilled chicken wrap, maybe with fries, and maybe a diet Coke or diet Pepsi. So that's my go-to every single time.
Is this an
I'm going to switch it
efficiency
up.
handheld thing? Is this like hey, I just, I'm trying to stay focused on just one thing right there. Is this why the wrap? I mean, we've
I
had
am,
sandwiches for a while.
it's just I'm kind of one of those guys. I'm not a big food person, like I just like I eat as fat and my boss always gets on me. I eat so fast. I mean, it's like I got other stuff I want to get done
We got to
and
get back to
do.
that scouting report on Butler, right? We got to
Absolutely,
get the wrap
absolutely.
down. We got to get back
Yeah.
to the scout.
So yeah, it's just kind of my go-to, and it's not awful. It's not it's kind of, a little bit of help. No, I wouldn't say it's healthy, but it's not terrible. So just kind of my go-to, man. And I've always I've always I can tell you where the best wraps are, man. It doesn't really matter. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna find a wrap.
Now, what Barton Cougar do you think could take down the most honey chipotle chicken crispers? Is there a guy that you have in mind that's like your go-to crisper king?
Ooh, man. It's amazing how much these kids can really eat, and it's funny because administration's probably always like, why is this bill so high? But it's like these kids can eat, they're bottomless pits. I would probably say on our team that Sebastian is probably that guy. I mean, he can throw down some food.
He's giving you 12 and 8. So I mean, let's keep the protein coming.
Yeah, just we're gonna roll with it because it's working.
All right, tell the administration we got to get the protein in, right? It's very important. You got to keep these guys strong. We're on the final push.
Absolutely. Yep. No question.
1000%. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. We're excited to watch you finish out the season here, and keep keep on doing what you're doing because it's working, man.
Well, I appreciate it, guys, and again, you guys do an amazing job. This show is big time, and hey, junior college basketball, I think is at its all-time best right now, and it's exciting, and so I really appreciate everything you guys do as well.
Absolutely. When we come back, we're going to get into the grind.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for two-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We are now in the grind. We're going to talk about one of the most exciting players in junior college basketball. Brent, I want to talk about Sean Register at Eastern Florida State, 6'7", originally from Cleveland. Monster numbers, 25 points, 9 rebounds a game, 41% from three. He scored in double figures every single game, high of 31 against Clarendon. I think this fits the narrative that we have a lot of really, really good freshmen in junior college basketball. And I think that's a trend that's going to continue. What are you hearing about Mr. Register?
Yeah, I mean, he's having a National Player of the Year type season. Has Eastern Florida locked in now. They're playing as good as anybody in the country. They are not a team that I would want to come up against right now. And a lot of that has to do with Sean. If we're looking at top 5 players in the country, you've got your Trent Lincolns, you've got your Ryan Hunts maybe, and then you've got your Sean Register right there in the mix somewhere with them.
So efficient.
Just
the points are crazy, but he's doing it on such low volume. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. When you talk to coaches about him, it's very easy to say, like, look, this is the type of player that you're looking for. This is not just, hey, he cranks out a ton of points and he's taking every shot and whatever. Like, he's taking the right shots. And he's long and rangy and he can really shoot it. So yeah, I mean, just an absolute stud of a player and somebody that we will be seeing, I believe, at a high level at the Division I level next year.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to transition to the show. Former junior college basketball player, All-American National Championship winner, Brent Moss of Barton, who's now at University of Texas, San Antonio. Is Roadrunners? Am I thinking that right? We got
Roadrunner.
Roadrunners? Yeah.
Yep.
6'6" wing, 10 points a game, 5 rebounds, 80% free throw. I think he's a kid who went to a school that gave him a chance to play. And, I think he's playing close to 30 minutes a game. I think it's a great fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, Brent's playing really well. That Barton team has got players all over the country playing well. Drake Kindle is playing well at Wichita. Unfortunately, our fellas at SIUE both went down with injuries, but we're having massive seasons.
Yeah.
And they've been impactful to that team, hurt too. As SIUE has continued to play well, but Brent showing that he's just as talented as any of his teammates from that awesome squad. I mean, when you go down that list of guys, it's like, dang,
Brent Moss and Drake Kindle came off the bench. They were the sixth and seventh man, right? I mean, so that was a heck of a basketball team. Has to be one of the best JUCO teams in the past 20 years. I think they're on the short list. And deservingly so. I mean, they really weren't pushed in the entire national tournament, and kind of won that thing going away. So it's great to see him doing well.
Players now, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Where they have this big list of really successful Division I guys. It's like, yeah, okay.
That's why they won a national title. Yeah. And Coach Combs has the best shoe game in junior college basketball. There's that too, which I think is inspiring for everyone. All right, stay with us after this commercial break. When we return, we're going to have our closing thoughts. We call it the sixth man.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. This is the sixth man. We're going to share some closing thoughts. Today, I wanted to talk about Dave Hunter, who is the voice of Vincennes University basketball. He has been the play-by-play man for 44 years at VU. He has made probably as many trips to the national tournament as anyone who lives outside the state of Kansas. He is an absolute encyclopedia on all things junior college basketball. And he's got to see some pretty cool players over the years during his time covering Vincennes, the Sean Marions, Carl Landry's, Eric Williams, a handful of guys that made it to the NBA. And he was on call for the great Sean Marion versus Steve Francis game, which I know Steve Francis and Sean Marion both have some beef about what actually happened in that game and who had the stats. But Dave Hunter, probably the only person on the planet who actually has the original stat sheet for that game. So I think it's just really cool that he's been there for 44 years, and I think he's missed 4 or 5 games. So I think he's one of the legendary voices of junior college basketball. We fall in love with the Russ W. Okers at Indian Hills and Lee Patterson at Eastern Arizona. It's so great when guys like Dave really pour into their community in this way. So congratulations to Dave on a great career. He's had many great calls. And Brandon had another great episode with you. I think we highlighted some great games.
We did it.
We did it. And I hope everybody has a great week of watching junior college basketball. And we'll see you here same time next week.